Imagine this. The asphalt under your tires suddenly ends at the edge of murky water, your GPS signal disappears, and the growl of an alligator becomes your only welcome. In the United States, there are places where time seems to stop. Worlds ruled by Spanish moss hanging from cypress trees, and nature's laws with zero mercy. This is not just about remote villages, but the front line between human civilization and the savage wild of America's swamps. From the Louisiana wetlands that are slowly sinking to Florida's forbidden island mazes, the people in these towns choose to live where most others refuse to go. This is our journey into the 10 most isolated swamp towns in the United States. First up is Chokoloskee, the definition of the end of the road. Sitting at the end of Highway 29, this town is actually a 6-meter shell mound island built by native people thousands of years ago. Before a bridge was built in 1956, the only way to reach it was by boat, and even now that feeling still lingers. Only around 300 permanent residents live here, surrounded by thousands of uninhabited islands known as the 10,000 Islands. Life here revolves around the Smallwood store, a legendary trading post founded in 1906. Back in the day, this was where fur hunters and the Seminole traded alligator hides for flour and ammunition. Today, Chokoloskee remains extremely vulnerable. Because it sits so low and juts into the Gulf of Mexico, every major storm threatens to wipe it off the map. But for its residents, isolation is a fair price to pay for a quiet life between swamp and sea. Just a few miles from Chokoloskee is its larger but no less mysterious neighbor, Everglade City. Even though it is called a city, its population rarely tops 400. The place has a dark, untamed history. In the 1980s, Everglade City made national headlines when federal agents carried out a massive raid on almost the entire adult male population, tied to interstate marijuana smuggling. Its geography, an impossible maze of mangroves, made it the perfect hideout for modern-day pirates. Today, life in Everglade City is far calmer, even if the scent of that outlaw past still hangs in the air. The town is a hub for airboat tours and pro-level fishing. Historic landmarks like the Rod and Gun Club still stand, reminding us of a time when presidents and celebrities came here to disappear from the world. But do not get it twisted. The isolation is real. Education is limited to one small K-12 school, with class sizes so tiny you could count them on one hand. Heading west, there is a town called Butte La Rose, one of the most unique and most dangerous places in America. This small community in St. Martin Parish sits right between the Atchafalaya River and the Mississippi River, literally inside the massive levee system of the Atchafalaya Basin. That means every time river levels rise and the government opens the spillway to save New Orleans from flooding, Butte La Rose is the first place to go underwater. People here live with the constant knowledge that their homes could become part of the riverbed at any moment. Life is simple and deeply tied to the swamp. Many locals still work as crawfish trappers and wild nature guides. There are no shopping centers or high-rises here, only rows of homes built on tall stilts and quiet, empty roads. During the major floods of 2011, the town was nearly fully evacuated. Yet even under a permanent threat, the community stays tightly bonded, united by their love for the raw beauty of the Atchafalaya Basin, something you cannot find anywhere else. Meanwhile, deep in the Everglades interior, the Big Cypress Reservation is sovereign land governed by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Here, isolation is not just geography, but culture and law. The Seminole are known as the Unconquered because they were the only Native American tribe that never officially signed a peace treaty or surrendered to the U.S. government during the Seminole Wars of the 19th century. The impassable swamps became their natural shield. Today, Big Cypress is a blend of ancient tradition and modern economic strength from casino business. Even though they have solid infrastructure, access to the settlement is closely guarded and limited. Residents still preserve traditions like beadwork crafts and ceremonial dances that draw many visitors. What makes it even more striking is that they have their own police force and court system, turning this place into a nation within a nation, surrounded by thousands of acres of cypress swamp forest and alligators. Next is Isle de Jean-Charles, often called the Vanishing Island. Deep in Terrebonne Parish, this small community is connected to the mainland by a single narrow road called Island Road, stretching over open water. The problem is, that road floods whenever strong winds hit or the tide rises, cutting residents off from the outside world. Since the 1950s, the island has lost more than 98% of its land to coastal erosion, sea level rise, and damage from the oil industry. Most residents are descendants of the Biloxi Chitimacha Choctaw, who have lived there for generations. As conditions grew critical, the community became the first in the United States to receive a federal grant for climate-related relocation, effectively making them America's first climate refugees. Most families are now moving to a new, higher settlement, but a few refuse to leave, choosing to stay on ancestral land until the swamp finally swallows the last road leading in. In Louisiana, water is the threat. In Georgia, it is darkness and silence. Sitting on the edge of the legendary Okefenokee swamp, Fargo is a small town that serves as the gateway to the trembling earth. The name might sound like a Western movie town, but the atmosphere is pure deep south. Here, the night is truly dark, with almost no light pollution at all, making it one of the best stargazing spots in Georgia. Life here moves slowly. Locals are used to living alongside alligators that wander down the roads behind their homes, or black bears hiding in the surrounding pine forests. The local economy depends heavily on timber and ecotourism for adventurers who want to explore the Okefenokee. Interestingly, the swamp is actually a remnant of an ancient sea basin, giving Fargo a geological history far older than human history in North America. Next up, there may be no place on the American mainland that feels more isolated than Flamingo. Hidden at the far southern tip of Everglades National Park, reaching it requires nearly a 2-hour drive from the nearest park entrance, through pure wilderness with not a single gas station or store along the way. Technically, it is a settlement for park rangers and operational staff, but historically, it was a tough, self-reliant fishing village. Today, Flamingo has no permanent civilian population in the traditional sense, but its role as the last outpost of civilization at the edge of Florida makes it matter. There is no reliable cell signal, and the mosquitoes here are considered the most aggressive in the entire United States. Anyone stationed here has to be fully self-sufficient, since the nearest medical help is dozens of miles away. The area is now undergoing major renovations to build storm-proof lodging, because Flamingo is a magnet for tropical storms coming in from the Caribbean. Back in Louisiana, there is Morgan City, often called the shrimp capital of the world, and its geography shows just how extreme isolation can be there. The city is surrounded by water on all sides: the Atchafalaya River, Lake Palourde, and the Gulf of Mexico. This region is the heart of authentic Bayou Louisiana culture. Many homes on the outskirts have no road access at all and can only be reached by boat through swamp canals choked with water hyacinths. Life in Morgan City rises and falls with oil prices and shrimp season. Locals carry a distinct dialect and food traditions, a blend of French, Spanish, and African influence. Even with decent city services, flooding is part of their DNA. The town is protected by a massive concrete seawall that separates neighborhoods from a river that often sits higher than people's rooftops. Sitting in what is known as the Forgotten Coast, Apalachicola is a window into Florida's past, before mass tourism tore it apart. The town is isolated by the vast Apalachicola National Forest on one side and the Gulf of Mexico on the other. There are no skyscrapers, no blinding neon lights, only large old Victorian homes with wide porches and streets paved with crushed shells. It was once one of the busiest cotton ports on the Gulf Coast, but today its role has shifted into an oyster-producing hub. Life moves slowly here, far from the chaos of Miami or Orlando. One unique fact: Dr. John Gorey developed an early cooling machine, the ancestor of modern air conditioning, in this town during the 19th century to help fever patients suffering in the swampy heat. Without his work in this remote place, modern Florida might not even exist. Finally, we head to Montegut, a town that feels like the last human stronghold before Louisiana's land fully surrenders to the Gulf of Mexico. Located at the end of Bayou Terrebonne, Montegut is known for ground so soft that even graveyards have to be built above the surface so they do not wash away. This town is the heart of Cajun country, where French can still be heard in old grocery stores. Life in Montegut is brutal. As wetlands vanish from erosion, the town loses its natural storm protection. Still, locals refuse to leave. They are stubborn hunters, fishermen, and oil workers. The atmosphere here is famously cinematic, so beautiful that the filmmakers behind Beasts of the Southern Wild used it as a key reference to portray a community living on the edge of collapse, yet holding onto dignity and joy. In the end, exploring these 10 swamp towns gives us a new perspective on what the word home really means. For some people, extreme isolation, permanent flood threats, and wild predators sound like a nightmare. But for residents in places like Chokoloskee or Montegut, the swamp is a shield that protects them from the exhausting chaos of the modern world. They prove that humans have an incredible ability to adapt, building rich lives on unstable ground. After seeing how they survive, and even love, an environment this harsh, one question remains. In a world that is more digitally connected than ever, do those of us living in big cities sometimes feel more isolated than the people living quietly in the heart of the swamp?